I don't know about you, but I don't care if I'm the smartest man in the room. And in my case, it's a good thing because I'm usually not. But I also respect and like people who aren't so concerned about that. Like the Rangers' new manager, Skip Schumacher. Let's tell you how. Next, it's the DLLS Rangers podcast. No, yes, men, right? So depends how you read it. But in the case of Skip Schumacher, that staff has no yes men, which is a good thing. Hi there. Welcome into the DLLS Sports Studios. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. John Radigan, Jeff Wilson, the cat, the queen is here. I don't know about you, Jeff, but somehow the Diet Coke just isn't really resonating for me today. But
this coffee.
How about we make a little request from Kat that we start the weekend right at about noon or 1 o'clock, I guess.
Is it 1?
It's 1.
Already, all
which
right.
is 5 somewhere. And we'll get to that in a second. But in the meantime, we see you, Chase, and others. And you might have seen Jeff on Twitter. He's not happy about this Shawn Armstrong thing either. We've got that coming. Jeff's waiting for some answers. Whether or not we get them before the next segment, we don't know, but we're pushing it back a little bit.
At this point, I'm going to say doubtful.
Probably doubtful.
Yeah.
That said, we give it a minute. We know about it, but we're not happy about it either. And we'll talk about it here in just a minute. But there was so much from the coaches' introductory gathering that we had yesterday. And one of the things Jeff and I were talking about, and we've got all those trades coming up to the three-way that included the Astros. And we'll talk a little bit about the Japanese players that don't seem to be attracting the attention that many thought they would. That's all coming up. But first, this business of the coaches, and it was absolutely one of the things that I loved almost as much as I love Michelob Ultra. Beautiful cat. Thank you so much. See why she's the queen? So anyway, the chat I had with Rod Barajas yesterday, and of course I was covering the team when Rod was here.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So I knew Rod, and we remembered each other. So that was cool. But in any event, I was just talking to him and about his past with Skip. And, of course, he said, well, we stood next to each other for 2 years in San Diego, and we talked, baseball, and we agreed and we disagreed. And, we talked the whole game through. And I'm like, oh, you disagreed. So you guys will, he goes, oh, my gosh. He goes, there are legendary disagreements with Skip Schumacher. He said, Pipe in particular he said, legendary in the disagreements that they'll have, because then they were all together again in Miami.
Right.
And I think that's where the legendary disagreements were, right? You put the little brain trust together, you all meet in a room, or you meet for dinner, or you have breakfast or whatever. And the reality is Skip does not want someone who just says, good idea, Skip. Good idea, Skip. Good idea, Skip. And I absolutely love that.
It's vital. You can't just have things running through the mind of one person, and because he's going to be wrong. 100%. You and I are going to be wrong.
Yep.
I don't want you doing the whole show, and you don't want me doing
Nope.
it. And so that's good. And I always thought, or I started to think, that there was, for a while there, that the Rangers front office with John Daniels got a little bit complacent because it was all the same guys.
Yeah.
And I'd ask him about is there any disagreement? And they're like, oh yeah, we have disagreement, this, that, and the other. But then, it's like, oh, it just, everybody was on board with things. And that's why I thought the hire of Chris Young was a good thing. It's like, okay, you're getting a different voice in there, somebody who hasn't been in the circle, getting dropped in, different perspective, player's perspective, and I think it's good that Michael Young and Ian Kinsler and have become bigger voices there, because, they're not that far removed from the game. And, they still have friends who play and all of that stuff. So I do think that disputes and, I don't want to say conflict, because that might be too strong of a word, but it's healthy, and it needs to occur if you're going to be as good as you can be.
Right. It's debate, right? It's healthy debate. It's like, well, there's two sides to every, coin or every story too, right? And sometimes more than just two. So let's look at this from every angle and analyze it. And then ultimately, you also have to have a guy, and we what we know about Skip Schumacher, he also won't be afraid to make the decision, right? If they don't come to an agreement, it's pretty clear that Skip's going to say, well, all right, then I have to decide, and he will.
Yeah, right. And, people aren't going to be happy all the time.
No.
That's really hard to do. But soliciting their opinions, trusting them, trusting that they're going to take their marching order even if they disagree with it, and then go ahead and follow through and do what you ask. Yeah. Because ultimately, he is the big cheese in the dugout. Yep,
no doubt. He has to make it, and then the decision, and then he, more than anyone, has to wear it, right? Because he's in front of the media at least 2 times every day, probably more than that. And so, that's part of the job. That comes with the dinner, as Troy Aikman once said. So anyway, that part I think is great, and Rod absolutely, just thinks so highly of him. So does Travis Jankowski, who he was telling me that when Skip had him, he was at the stage in his career where Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter are right now.
Okay.
And so he said in those formative years, to have a guy who was so good like Skip Schumacher was just fantastic for him. And he said, and he became, more than just a coach, a confidant, and a friend. And like I mentioned yesterday, and a buddy where you're gonna act like you're gonna knock him in the crotch, and stuff right? Just have a little fun together, and that's all good. That's all great, part of the dynamic and part of the relationship, and guys being guys. But what I loved about what Travis said from that sort of confidant point, he could have played this year. We talked about that when he got the job. He could have gotten a job somewhere as a player, but his agent did tell him, he confided yesterday, that it was definitely going to be on a minor league deal, right? Or a spring training invite without a contract, basically, right? So he's like, oh man, I don't know if I want to go out that way. Maybe I shouldn't. And then Skip gets in touch. And Travis told us, I was just praying for clarity. And then Skip calls and says, do you want to do this? And he kind of said, well, why should I? And Skip said, because you have this opportunity now. Yeah. You can join a major league staff right now. Most guys don't get that opportunity, right? You have to work your way up to a major league staff in most organizations, unless you're a player who was of, a super high, profile type player. Mm-hmm. But the Travis Jankowskis of the world would typically be working their way up in an organization. He doesn't have to do that. He gets a major league job right away, which is unbelievable, really.
Yeah, and how often very, very few people get to start in a big market, professionally in our business,
right?
And if you do, you are at the low man on the totem pole, as I was when I started over there in the Fort Worth.
Yeah, because
you started in Flint,
Michigan,
and moved into a bigger market. T.R. Sullivan, his first job was in Sherman.
Yeah,
Sherman or Dennison. I think they're the same
I
thing.
think they might be the same, yeah.
But anyway, it was the Dennison paper for sure. So for Travis to, it's like, Pete Incanvilla not having to play in the minors. Travis is coaching straight into the majors,
right.
And
right.
So good for him. But yeah, he's going to be making a nice salary,
Sure. Oh yeah.
And he gets to be at home with his family. No moving them to 4 different franchises that he was with last year.
Yeah.
That's stressful on the family, because his wife, God bless her, with the kids and having to move around all the time, because when you're a baseball player, you don't get to pack the moving van. You get to pack your bag and get on a flight.
Right.
That's the deal.
And then
the
wife
families have to take care of it, or you pay for somebody, but still they're the contact.
There's a lot
logistics,
of
and if something's
parts.
late, and you need a box of formula or something for your baby. You gotta go to the store and round all 4 of them up and all this stuff. Anyway, it just seems like this is the best thing for him, and like he said, he sees the players coming and who are trying to get his job, and they're just better.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was funny too, because he said, will there be, are you going to be whipping out the coach card? And he said, first of all, that'll never happen where, you basically, hey, I'm your coach. No, I mean, he started, especially with the Wyatts and the Evan Carters, he started as friends of theirs. And he said, and I knew as I was helping them become better left fielders, they were trying to take my job. And we've heard that. Skip talked about that. We've heard that many times. Mark McLemore talked about it with Brett Boone. I mean, there's always somebody trying to take your job in this game. And Travis said that's one of the reasons that they, in this case, Evan and Wyatt in particular, respect him so much. He knew they were trying to take his job, and he still gave them, it's legendary what he did. And I think maybe Calhoun was involved or somebody else out there in left field. The first time Evan Carter ever played at Daikon Park, what used to be Minute
it was
Maid.
Robbie Grossman. Yeah,
it was Grossman. That's who it was. Yeah,
Grossman played there. Yeah,
yeah, that's right. And they were out there showing him how you play the caroms. And then I'll be darned, was it game 1? It came up, and he basically started a double play.
He went into that little weird corner out there where the Crawford boxes actually start to go back. Jumped, made the catch. Through to second, Altuve
missed the bag,
and went back to first, and it was critical. It was a critical play in what was a really tight game. So, and Skip was that guy to Travis.
Yes,
and I think Travis took that example and wanted to follow through with it. And all of these guys want to make the game better for the guys coming up behind him. And remember. Skip was talking about how, when he first got called up to the majors, he got picked up at the airport by a guy on the Cardinals whose job he was trying to take.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it is. And so they're trying to start the chemistry to build it that way. And look, if you talk to Evan and you talk to Wyatt, they just sing the praises of Travis, and it kind of gives Travis an advantage with them too. Now that he's a coach, they're going to listen to him.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's the pretty cool thing about it is, this is a guy who was a perfect teammate.
Yeah.
Not a perfect player, but a perfect teammate, setting a great example. And now he's in a position. Basically, it's the same position. He was like one of their coaches,
right?
And now he's officially a coach. So they better listen to him.
Yeah, there's not always, but there are so many of those coaches on the field. We've mentioned it many, many times. Nathan Eovaldi is that to the pitching staff.
Right.
Now, again, Nathan's made so much money. I'm not sure he'll ever have to coach, but he seems like a coach in the making, doesn't he? I mean,
he sure does.
He just loves it. He watches the bullpens of his teammates. He has no obligation, no need to do that. He goes and does it because he likes doing it. And that's a rare bird. I don't know if I know of another pitcher who has done that. I mean, unless you're trying to, especially to do that and then to tutor, said, I could see a young guy watching the bullpen of a Jacob deGrom going, how does he do this? But I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know if I could, see usually the star pitcher doing it to the young guys and trying to help them out. But he does, and it's cool. And now, maybe someday he'll be a coach too, and he'd probably get the chance to go right into a major league job, probably a major league pitching coach if he wanted to. But that's for another day because he's got a couple more years left on the contract here. And Shawn Armstrong has only 1 year left on his contract that he just signed. Let's talk about it because I know it's got everybody hot under the sports collar. And when we come back on the DLLS Rangers podcast, we're going to talk about Shawn Armstrong and why the Rangers couldn't pony up $5.5 million for a guy who was fantastic and wanted to be here. That's coming next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. So today's Friday. I don't have to tell you that. In the last 5 days, I've had Wild Fork Foods in some way 4 times, Jeff.
That's pretty impressive.
4 times in 5 days. I've had the garlic bread one night with an Italian meal. I've had the new burgers that I tried, which have short rib and brisket and ground beef all kind of mixed into one. Fantastic. Today, I finally got rid of that beautiful bison sausage and put it on a salad. Each and every day, I find new ways to enjoy Wild Fork Foods. They have such a variety of food there. 750 different cuts of meat are available at Wild Fork Foods, and that's not all. You need to get to Wild Fork Foods. We will continue to have, outings out there where our crew goes out there and introduces you to the greatness of Wild Fork Foods. Wild Fork Foods delivery options are available too.
Man, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the leaders in daily fantasy. Go to prizepicks.com/DLLS. Make a $5 lineup and you get $50 in free lineups. Again, made some lineups yesterday for NBA and NFL. Came out of it okay. It's just so much fun. I mean, I would have never paid attention to the Rams and the Seahawks or the Pelicans and the whoever the hell they played. It just makes it so much more enjoyable for me. You can do it for as low as $1. Here's what you do. It's a lineup. So you pick 2 to 6 players and you decide if they will have more or less than a projected stat. Like Cooper Flagg last night was more or less than 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So I went over, boom. Anyway, it pays to be right at prizepicks.com. Again, put down $5 lineup and you get $50 on lineups for free.
So Tyler asks, how's the garlic bread? Tyler, it is fantastic. It's so easy. You pop it in the oven, you bake it for like 5 minutes, or you can do it in the air fryer for that matter. And I didn't know until I had the first bite of it. It's got a little bit of mozzarella cheese inside. Oh, so very garlicky. It's very, very good. And I didn't mention the 4th thing, wings.
Oh, yeah, the wings.
One day, Jeff. So anyway, let's get into this disappointing deal. I think we all kind of felt that sinking. Like the first news I saw on the deal, with Shawn Armstrong yesterday, Jeff, was just that the Guardians were going to sign him. Mm-hmm. And I didn't yet see, okay, I'm thinking, how long? Did he get 2? Did he get 3? He got 1.
Yeah.
For $5.5 million.
Right.
It seems like, and I wonder too, he's not getting any deferred from the Guardians, but they the day before, 2 days or 3 days before, they signed Chris Martin to 4 with 2 deferred.
Yeah.
Right? I wonder if Shawn Armstrong would have taken some deferred. I mean, what does this mean? Does this mean that the Rangers don't have the money, or maybe that they don't like Shawn Armstrong? Where are we on this?
They have said that they like the guys who pitched for him last year. They're all candidates to come back. So I don't think they dislike Shawn Armstrong.
Okay. And how could you?
Right. And then, he said last week into the season, and I've said it a couple times, that I point blank asked him, hey, what do you think about next year and coming back? He said, I'd love to. We've got October. Let's get something done. He was geared up for it. All right. So he was so good last year.
It was ridiculous.
Like a 173 average against, doesn't walk guys. Just great.
Like right-handers, 114 or something
like, man,
against him.
How would you wouldn't want that?
Best in baseball.
So my thought is that Shawn Armstrong is likely to regress.
Yes, of course.
But is he going to, even if righties improve 50%, or not 50%, by 50 points, shoot, even if they do it by 100 points, he's still a really good reliever.
It's still at 214.
Yeah. So I think that if they were scared off by the chances of regression, I think they might have blown some. Now look, we'll say this too. They also have his medical records.
Yeah.
They know his age. They knew how he felt from day one to game 162. He posted, all right? He was solid. I don't think he went on the IL at all. Maybe he did. If he did, it was for a very short amount. Anyway, so I don't think it wasn't that they didn't like him. I do think it's possible that the regression scared him off. I'm more concerned about the money situation.
That's the thing.
And
if that's where it lands, that's bad.
If their projections for his season didn't fit within what they thought the value was, his value was. Now, if they didn't think he was worth $5.5 million, that's one thing. If they did and they didn't have it, that's an entirely different thing.
Right.
So there are a couple of things at play here, and the Rangers being the Rangers, they haven't. They're not going to say anything on the record about it. So it's just a matter of tracking some people down. But I just don't get it.
No,
especially guys that want to be here and
right.
were here and had great success.
Right, and unless we all of a sudden find out that they're in on Zach Gallen, right?
Yeah.
Or they're in on somebody and they're like, man, we have to save every penny we can and fill these last couple of spots in our bullpen with the 1.25 guys, not the 5.5 guys, right? I mean, and if that's the case, then we'll be happy, but we don't know that that's the case yet. And 5.5 is a no-brainer. Kellyman asks wisely, is Chris Martin going to regress this year? Yeah, of course. I mean, it probably is. He's older.
I mean, you're older.
He had a great year when he pitched. And you know who else might? Nathan Eovaldi. I mean, Nathan Eovaldi's numbers were so good. Now, Jacob deGrom may not, because he was in that and he had great numbers too, but he was still in that first year back after Tommy John. So Nathan Eovaldi might get better, but Jacob deGrom might, but Nathan Eovaldi's probably going to regress. He had a 1.73 at the end of his season.
Yeah, I think that a couple things when we talked to Chris Young on whatever day it was, Tuesday, maybe it was Monday, Tuesday. It doesn't matter. In any event, this is what he said. In regards to Merrill Kelly, he said, because he did actually ask about that, or answered my question about Merrill. He said, Merrill had a great experience here, but, it was our sense that he always wanted to go to Arizona. Okay, that's fine.
Sure, yeah.
And then Chris said, his market developed quickly, and we weren't ready to play at that price level yet.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of left it. You can read into that what you will. He also said that he believes the foundation for a good team is a great starting rotation. So I those of you who are saying he's saving for a starter, I can see where you're coming from, just reading between the lines. Now, when are they going to be ready? I mean, when's the end of the financial quarter? Are they trying to
right?
Are they waiting until the new year,
January 1?
What's going on here? But they may be able to get these guys that hang around on the market for a little while, who shouldn't be still available but are, and maybe they can jump in and snag a starter for a couple years. Of course, all teams will love 1-year deals, but again, you got to look at the big picture here. And if there's a guy that you absolutely love who's a free agent, and you think you can get him for 4 or 5 years because beyond the DeGrom and Evaldi years, you can very easily sell that to ownership, and maybe that guy just falls into your price range. Now, you look at some of the latest signings, Kelly for 20, Michael King for 25 a year. You kind of shudder a little of those, especially the Kelly one.
Because it was 2 for 20. We were thinking he may need to settle for 1. He got to exactly where he wanted to, and
I was thinking 2 and 30. And so if you look at that deal and you're like, hey, if I'm Zach Gallen, I'm looking at it and saying, my best friend just signed this deal, and no offense to my best friend, but I'm younger.
Yeah,
I've got good years ahead of me. So, I think Merrill Kelly's probably thinking, or Zach Allen's thinking, well, hell, I can get 20. I can get
at least.
I can get 5 and 100.
Yeah.
Now, is that beyond the Rangers? I mean, it would seem like it if they can't afford 5.5. But we are talking about a starter. Chris Young was a starter. Chris Young has said all these great things about the importance of a rotation. So I think that perhaps this is where it's headed with the penny pinching in the bullpen.
Right. And look, it's one of the, we were saying it prior to them getting a catcher. We were like, maybe all of this stuff is somewhat dependent on how much money they have to spend on a catcher. Right. Mm-hmm. So now, but they had to have a catcher, and they don't absolutely have to have a starter. I mean, they do, but they could piece somebody in there.
Yeah.
Or they could get a Patrick Corbin, whether it's him or somebody like him, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the deal. But they had to have a catcher, and they didn't spend a lot of money on the catcher. They didn't have to. So it leaves, as we've said many times, a lot of powder dry, and it sure seems like you'd spend that on a guy. We know they, and I asked the question of Jeff just to get it all talking and going, we know they like Shawn Armstrong.
Yeah.
And what's not to like about Shawn Armstrong? So here's a guy they really liked and, either couldn't, but I still believe chose not to for what they hope is the greater good, right?
Yeah.
Which a starter is the greater good certainly in Chris Young's eyes.
Yeah. So I guess that's then the third option. And so scared off by the possibility of regression, don't have enough money, saving as much as possible for a starter.
Yeah.
You're hopeful it's 3.
Yes.
Because 1 and 2 don't make a lot of sense.
No. And 2 especially. Come on. Don't have enough money. Please. And that's a story for another day. And
and Chris has put up a pretty strong face here.
Yeah.
He really has. Publicly with us, he's been saying, hey, we've got enough money. Teams made the playoffs last year. We're going to have more money than teams that made the playoffs last year. So if why not us? If they can do it, why can't we? You know what? He's right.
Yeah. I mean,
he's right.
The Reds payroll last year was $119 million.
Yeah.
And they made the playoffs.
But I mean, every GM wants, unlimited spending.
Of course.
And if they wanted him, if the Rangers wanted Shawn Armstrong and Chris made a call and said, hey, we can get Shawn back. He wants to be here. It's a great deal. Boy, look how good he was last year. Can you stretch by $1 million? And if Ray Davis said no, I'd quit. I mean, Chris Young doesn't need the money.
No,
he's not doing this to pay the bills.
No,
he made a lot of money in his career. His wife's family, their legendary hockey family, executives in the NHL. Her grandfather or great grandfather is Patrick. The Patrick division is named after this guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're cool, But Chris is a competitor too, and he probably wants to go out with a win. But man, this is a headache if they don't have enough money to sign a reliever for $5 million.
Yeah, and yet Chris Young seems at the moment to be very content with the puzzle piece of this. Right, like I can build this puzzle. Whatever, he hasn't told us the number, but I can do this for $200 million or for $195 million or for $210 million. it's nowhere. I don't think it's anywhere more than 210, right? I think 210 would be the absolute top end on the deal because they want to make sure they would still have room to do something at the trade deadline if they're good.
Yeah.
Because they ain't going over that CBT this year.
Well, like 200 would be a 20%, roughly a 20% cut.
Right. Yeah.
So, if you can cut it back by 15%, that gets you in the 210 range.
Right.
Just
and then it still gives you, $30 million. You wouldn't want to push it too close, but $30 million, you're not going to spend $30 million at the trade deadline.
No.
You're not signing a free agent pitcher at the trade deadline. So.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I'll have some more to say about this eventually.
Yeah,
in writing.
Yeah, in writing and on there, and we're waiting more on comments back. But we feel essentially as you do about it, and there are some of the reasons that it may have happened. Lots of chat now, and we appreciate all of you in the chat so much about the Japanese players. Yeah, the deadline is approaching fast for the guy that Jeff would love to see the Rangers get. Is there any chance they're waiting and saving that money for him?
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's talk about it next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. Oh, did we have a flash? Was that a flash? There's the flash.
Hey, Supporters Club, new videos up from our guy Ben, the skipper, the GM.
Yeah,
I appreciated the heck out of his work in the winter meetings. He cranked out a ton of content. If you don't follow our YouTube or our Twitter accounts, shame on you. And if you're not a Supporters Club, you really need to consider it so you can get some of this behind-the-scenes stuff like that video, like previous ones that John and I have done. All of our beats do them, and they're really entertaining and give you insight to things that you're not going to get in our stories or even on our our YouTube channel. So to do it, it's easy. Go to our YouTube homepage and you click the join button. Boom. You pay a nominal fee. You get some sweet emojis that a lot of you guys like to flex. And you know what? It's just it's sicko level is what they say.
It is.
And it's a little, it's like extra credit for being a diehard.
Mm-hmm. It is. And we're free, especially this time of year with the extra credit. Like we'll pass it out, as will we know T.O. and Leon. So we always appreciate them for doing that. And the newsletter is free. And we pass that baby out every day for free. All you have to do is sign up to be a subscriber to our newsletter. That happens on our webpage, alldlls.com. You scroll down to the bottom and you find the spot to enter your email. And then the great newsletter comes to your inbox every day. The lead today in the newsletter was the Stars game.
Oh, man.
The Stars never trailed last night and got a good victory.
Which is rare.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
right?
They're back and forth and all of that. Yeah. But the one I have my eyeballs on was that Mavs Pistons game. Remember, I'm a Detroit guy.
You sure
and
are.
I swear to God, it looked like the Bad Boys were back. Now, the Bad Boys were the first professional team I had the opportunity to cover when I first got into the business. Isaiah Thomas and all those guys, Vinny Johnson and Rick Mahorn and Bill Lambier and Kelly Tripucka, they were all playing and winning championships and all that stuff. So anyway, Adrian Dantley ultimately. Anyway, they the Pistons, which now have an Arlington kid, several Arlington kids actually, but Cade Cunningham,
so good,
but they played like a real aggressive style last night. I'm ranting. I'm rolling. It's in the newsletter. So much more, too. Get the newsletter, will you, please?
All right, side note. I really enjoy on Instagram when I'm killing time seeing the videos of Michael Jordan getting just I love Michael Jordan, getting just abused by those guys.
Blasted by those guys.
And then so they'll show a shot that Jordan took, and then they'll compare it to something that LeBron does where he flops or, fake. Yeah. It just cracks me up.
Yeah.
And then my son, who doesn't know any better, says, "Oh, well, Michael Jordan is playing against garbage men." I was like, "Well, those garbage men used to beat the crap out of Michael Jordan."
They did.
And it was
The
entirely
rules.
different game. They scored 90 points a game, and Jordan had 40 of them. So Henry,
rules were so much different.
You need to clean it up.
Yeah. Come on, watch the damn game. All right. Well, he can't watch those games, can he? I guess he could.
Well, I'm sure he could.
Yeah, he could somewhere. Okay, so let's talk about this Japanese market. And Murakami's the guy you wanted, right?
Yeah. You're going to have to live with the strikeouts and wait for him to adjust to hitting the heaters. But my thought on that is that when Ohtani was being courted by the Rangers and by everybody, the thought was, man, this guy's going to be an amazing pitcher. That's kind of, everybody's like, all right, he's going to go into a rotation and win Cy Youngs, and yeah, the hitting will be nice. Oh, the hitting's fantastic.
It's unbelievable.
It was so underrated. And so I'm applying that same sense to Murakami. And when these people say, oh, well, he can't hit the fastball. Well, there wasn't a lot of expectation on Ohtani as an offensive player. And he's good. There's no question about it. And, after the dust settles with Jock Peterson this year, you got a spot for this guy if he's a butcher in the field or whatever, and you can still live with it. So that was kind of the guy I was thinking of. And now, maybe he's kind of coming into the range a little bit just because these long-term deals just aren't out there, it would appear.
Right. And here's the thing, like, why has there been no buzz on these guys? Right. I mean, I don't understand it. There hasn't been any buzz on Murakami at all. And again, this is a guy, and is it Cordua who said this? He wants Schwarber money. Of course,
Good luck.
So do I. But I don't.
I want Radigan money.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting Schwarber money. But when he posted, I might have think, yeah, he's right in that range. He's hitting the home run, hits all kinds of bombs, hits all kinds of doubles. But there, for some reason, this market isn't developing for him, and it typically, like the greatest, the really good Japanese players who come over, man, they're the shiny penny, right?
Right.
The Darvishes of the world, the Ohtanis of the world, even Sasaki was that just last year. Like we're all, oh wow, yeah, you got to get that guy, not knowing if that guy will translate here at all. And for a long time this season, Sasaki didn't.
Yeah.
Although then did in the World Series.
Okay, so how many? We know all the the names of the great Japanese pitchers, right?
Right.
And one of the greatest hitters in baseball history is from Japan, Ichiro, and now Ohtani too.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you have Hideki Matsui.
Right.
Name three more great Japanese hitters. It's like the hitter.
Sadahara but he never
played here.
Yeah.
So it's like what are people gun shy about signing Japanese hitters to big contracts? And the same thing with guys from Korea. And Ted's guy Moon, he signed Padres for 3 and 15.
Sung Moon.
And but Jung Ho Lee, the Giants, gets this huge contract. You talk about regret, my Lord.
Right.
And so I think maybe pitching. All right, pitcher's always going to have the advantage, and once they adjust to the ball and the travel and blow out their elbows, they're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But man, those hitters, if they're used to seeing lower velocity all the time, and they catch up to that, great. But if they're seeing 97 all the time, not doing great.
Right. And the thing to remember too, with regard to Ohtani, the one season that he didn't try or couldn't try to pitch and hit, he was a 50-50 guy.
Right.
50. He can hit. These Japanese players can hit. I don't know that, again, I'm not trying to say Murakami offensively is Ohtani.
Yeah.
I think Ohtani might be one of those special guys like like with a mentality. Like the only one I really can, well, I guess Jordan probably had it, and Tiger.
Yeah.
These guys that have this mentality that's just like, how do you have that sort of focus and drive and desire and determination every single day, you know?
Yeah.
It's a gift, and maybe that's what, Shohei has, and I think it's a rare gift.
Yeah, and and we don't know this about Ohtani, but we know it about Jordan and Woods. Like they were that way off the field. You hear the Jordan and the golf betting, and unfortunately Tiger and the women.
Yeah,
but they wanted to dominate everything.
Yep.
And of course, there's the big conspiracy that the reason Jordan played baseball is because he got suspended by the NBA for his gambling.
Yep.
And what about this Ohtani and the interpreter? Come on,
good
man.
Point. I know. There's some real smoke there.
Come on, baby.
Doubt. Yeah, no doubt. There's smoke there, but it's just gone away. The deadline, Mason's right. The deadline's Monday at 5, right? And remind me, Jeff, you know these rules better than me. If he doesn't sign by Monday at 5, he goes back to Japan?
He goes back to Japan.
Man.
Yeah.
And is Amaya's
I don't know his
same
window.
day?
I don't know. But they were both posted in
right
early
around
November.
each other. Yeah. Yeah, so and you're not seeing much on him either. Now I keep hearing Yankees on Amaya, but what are they doing?
I don't know.
They got plenty of money. I think they do.
That's right.
They usually do. So yeah, it's pretty interesting that this class has this class of Japanese players, and maybe these scouts, GMs, and everybody know more than we do. But I don't think a guy comes into posts saying, with his agent, essentially, we're in the Kyle Schwarber, Pete Alonso class, and then doesn't get an offer. It doesn't get, he's got to get something.
I think he'd get, but again, he's probably not talking to the A's. He's not talking to guys where he can't go and be marketable and play for a winner and all of that stuff. So, I think. Maybe he misses out and tries again next year. I don't know. Yeah. Who knows?
Good point. I mean, he may truthfully in his camp. That's the other side of it. His camp may be saying, if we're not even going to get close to Schwarber money, forget it. We'll just play here.
But again, in Japan, they don't get paid like the players here. So if he's looking to make some money, and he could get 3 in, 48. That's way more than he's going to make in Japan.
Yeah, true.
Anyway.
Yeah, interesting. I don't think, though, to answer a question from way earlier, I don't think the Rangers are in on him in all seriousness.
I don't think so either.
No, I wish they were. I wish they were in on everybody like it seemed like they used to be, but they're not. And, it is what it is. Murakami will be a White Sox.
Uncle Ted, bold prediction.
That is a bold prediction. It is a good market as far as that off the field stuff, right? And those kinds of things. So, maybe that's a possibility. But I think you're right. It's not going to be he's not going to play in Sacramento. He's not going to play in Kansas City. Not going to play in Cincinnati. And based on budgets, he's not going to play in Texas. No, sorry about that. All right, more coming up. We've got to wrap this one up. Man, we're wrapping up the week. It's a week that went by quick. We will wrap up this week and get you ready for the holidays and in some ways along the process, too, as we continue with the DLLS Rangers podcast.
Die Hard?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Hey, Christmas is right around the corner. And if you still haven't bought any gifts, it's too late, baby, to get it here on time. Because Sunday they're not going to do anything, and then, Wednesday nobody wants to work Wednesday, so they're male people are going to be half-assing it. So, you need a present to stick under the tree. Die Hard, $80 for 1 year, free T-shirt, 20% off our events, 20% off our merch. But the most important thing is access to everything that is written at alldls.com, whether it be Stars, Mavs, Cowboys, Rangers. And my gosh, we've been writing a lot I've been writing a lot, and there's so much I haven't written.
Right.
You know,
there's a lot to come.
You know, I was going to write yesterday, but unfortunately, both of my kids have the flu, so my hands were a little tied yesterday. Plus, it was wine night for the wife, so I was running around like a madman. So we'll get it knocked out here, but become a diehard. And again, go ahead and gift it because it's a really good gift.
Yeah, and you get a free T-shirt if you become a diehard, which you could also gift or regift because you probably already got a bunch of them. There are 50 T-shirts available, and the great Jeff Kavanaugh and I were talking before the show just about which of the hoodies are our favorites. I've only got the one hoodie, but I'm now interested. And so he was kind of telling, and he likes, I think you have this one too, Jeff, the one with
little
the
pocket
DLLS.
star, yeah, pocket flag.
Yeah. He said that's he likes that one the best out of all of them. Of course, he was wearing the Stay Shiesty hoodie today, which is very popular, I know, and very cool, and hopefully Mr. Shiesty gets back to being Shiesty, if you know what I mean. Anyway, store.allcitynetwork.com is the place to go in order for you to get our merchandise any day, anytime. All right, let's do this. Speaking of the Japanese players.
Look at Rhonda getting her new shirt today. Hello. I'm getting my hats next week.
Beautiful.
They're supposed to be in Tuesday.
That's fantastic. Excited. I got the, again, I live in the boondocks, so I got the notice today. Mine's finally.
They're going to be parachuted in
for delivery. Yeah, there's a freaking stagecoach comes by every Thursday, so I won't get it next week because it's Christmas, or the week after because it's New Year's. But then, by God, by the 8th of January, the stagecoach will come by and drop off my shirt, or hat. But anyway, speaking of the Japanese players, Shohei Ohtani's baseball card, some recent card that has a gold emblem on it, has sold for $3 million. Now, when you get baseball cards up into that realm, Jeff, generally it's guys who haven't played. I mean, haven't played in a long time. It's the Rogers Horns piece, It's the, it's the Babe Ruth. Look at that. $3 million for a guy who's still playing.
Yeah.
But you know what? The baseball card companies, and I think that was a Topps one, the baseball card companies are doing a great job of creating these sort of one-of-a-kind cards.
Yeah.
And that, I guess that gold thing makes it one-of-a-kind.
Well, one way to look at it, I guess, is, right now the Powerball's at $2.5 billion.
Is it really?
Yeah. So, I got to go buy some tickets.
Good God.
It's kind of like, if you're searching for a one-of-one for, thousands of dollars, you're throwing $20 or $30 into a pack. It's like, it's kind of like just taking a shot at the lottery, and so I haven't hit any of those. I do need to go to the card shop, by the way, and get Henry some stocking stuffers. And then, the owner of the card shop used to be our neighbor, so he always talks me into buying something else. Huh? No, it's in Arlington, right by the ballpark. Superior Sports Investments. So I got to do that. So yeah, I'll take a shot at it. You know? I want to get a Cooper Flag rookie card.
Oh yeah,
that's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, that would be valuable. And we see, a lot of people. My brother was just telling me, Purdue is saying, I collect, it's fun. And my brother was just reminding me about his big baseball card collection. For some reason, when I was that age, my brother was into it, and I was the guy that put him on my spokes, and the bike to make it sound like a motorcycle. I don't know why. I just never really got into the baseball card thing. And of course,
it's a missed opportunity, John.
Yeah. There's a reason. There's some of that I really wish I had. And then, probably in high school, I dug my heels in. I'm going to do that. And then, anyway, but I'm a big fan, and who's huge into it is Mike Bassick.
Bassick,
he really enjoys it. So but it's amazing, and Ethan's saying gold's $4,360 an ounce right now. So I don't know if that's real gold on the card, but if it is, no wonder it's
not $3 million worth of gold.
No, it's probably not. Yeah, probably not. Yeah. Michael King has signed. You mentioned it earlier, Jeff. He's returning to the Padres, 3 for $75. So he got the he got the Nathan Eovaldi deal a year later.
He did. Just some of these guys just like to go home. And King, who I believe came from the Yankees. The Yankees apparently never put in a formal offer to him. He's been hurt, so there's risk with everybody. Nathan Eovaldi's been hurt, so
right.
Good for Michael King. And the Padres keep sending out these mixed signals, or mixed signals keep coming out about the Padres, like, they're going to sell. No, we're keeping Tatis.
Yeah,
we're going to sign Michael King.
Yeah, apparently this contract is very heavily backloaded, which would speak to some of their financial concerns for now. And, and then this is a guy who pitched, he had 15 starts last year.
Yeah.
And, so he was, basically hurt for half of the year. I think he had one of those shoulder nerve issues at one point, Jeff. And those are the kind that
those are no
me.
fun. Yeah.
You pull a hammy, okay, whatever, but nerves, you start talking about nerves, that's the stuff that I would, if I were a GM or a manager, that's the stuff that would start to worry me.
Well, you start to worry with the Rangers specifically when they say, oh, yeah, I went and saw Dr. Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dr. Pearl is the guy who basically invented thoracic outlet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he invented the syndrome, maybe, but he invented the surgery, I think.
To correct it.
Or was a pioneer in it and is considered an expert. And, Scherzer, and he's like, oh, yeah, I got some Botox in my shoulder from Dr. Pearl to help, blow up the nerve area and the compression. And my God, that's, because nobody wants to get that surgery. The theory is that when you come back, you just never have the same velocity.
Really?
Yeah. And so that's been,
because you remove a rib.
You're removing a rib, and I guess you're messing up the whole shoulder structure, whatever. The running theory is you lose velocity.
Okay. Well, I would encourage guys not to have it if they can avoid it.
Yeah, let's not lose the velocity.
No, velocity, velo, as they say, is a good thing. So anyway, Michael King, hopefully for him and for the Padres, he'll stay healthy. But again, a backloaded contract, which would still allow them to make their sale or whatever the heck they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the Pohlad family has moved a different son to be in charge of the organization.
Oh.
They're official now. They've got their investors who have put in, and I think, could I have heard? I don't remember what percentage owners they are now, but two investors got in there, $1.75 billion.
It's crazy
to be very much a minority investor in a team in this day and age.
Well, hopefully that paves the way to the Pohlads just giving it up.
Boy, no kidding. And they've signed one player to a major league contract this offseason.
Yeah,
one guy.
It's not right.
No,
and
it's not fair to the fans up there.
A proud franchise.
Really proud.
Got some World Series appearances, some World Series titles.
Yep.
Hall of Fame players.
Yep.
MVPs, all kinds of stuff.
Okay, and Cardua says they got 10%.
10%. For
1.75.
Well, how does that work? Because the franchise isn't worth $17.5
No, it sure doesn't make sense, does it? But
we're not doubting you, Cardua.
No, we're
just
doubting.
Wondering what the hell.
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. And Cardua believes, and we believe too. Anyway,
if Cardua believes it, I believe it.
Yep. If you believe, I believe. So yeah, that deal is done, but also there is reporting around that deal that says this gives them the financial security to be better positioned to sell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because again, you can't have just tons and tons and tons of debt if you're going to try to sell, which is why we know the Dodgers ain't selling, because they got the debt of all these, $1 billion of contracts. Although, as you've always said, that money's like in escrow or somewhere.
Yeah, it's already funded.
They've funded it. So anyway, interesting sidebar there on the ownership thing. How about this really sad story? John Means posted it.
Oh, yeah,
His
that's
own
a bummer.
Self. What a bummer. he was working out, just doing an off-season workout, and it was the day he was planning to sign with a team. He didn't reveal which team, but he was going to sign with a team that day, and he blew out his Achilles.
What a kick in the shorts for a guy that's had all these arm injuries, and at some point you just like, well, all right.
Yeah,
this ain't gonna happen.
No.
There's got to be repeated signs,
Man.
or maybe they're just, what doesn't kill them makes them stronger.
Yeah, I suppose. But now, is he in a situation where anybody's paying him?
He is a free agent.
Yeah, so no. Now, granted, he's made money, but
yeah, not a ton, but more than we're making this year. But
yeah,
I know that boy, it might have been Uncle Tom. I think Uncle Tom was high on Means.
Okay.
And I looked it up, and Means stats last year after he came back from Tommy John weren't great. They're in AAA, and the Guardians never made any room for him. So, but he'd been good before. But the injury history, it's like worse than Josh Young.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There is a player from Japan who has signed.
Oh.
With the Cubs.
Oh.
Tyler Austin.
Oh.
Yeah. So not a Japanese player, but an American player who went over there. And I think, was he there for 6 years? He was there for a long time, maybe 4 years.
Yeah.
And he killed.
Right.
He did great over there.
Yeah.
And so he comes back and gets a deal with the Cubs. And, we are huge fans of people who do that because Colby Lewis did it. Right?
Yeah.
And if it's good enough for Colby, by God, it's good enough for these guys.
And, Colby spent 2 years there. And then our pal and former guest, Tony Barnett, he was there for 6.
Yeah.
Maybe
was he
7.
there for 6?
It was a long time.
Wow.
Yeah. And again, here's another gift suggestion.
Tony's book.
Tony's book. Look it up on Amazon and get it to you real quick. And it was really, really good. I learned a lot about Japanese baseball.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And let's get to this, and then we'll get to others if we need to. But there's a 3-team trade that involves the Astros, and I swear, the word I hear about Burrows and he's got stuff, and everybody on MLB radio and everywhere was saying the Astros won this trade. Brandon Lau, interestingly, is going to Pittsburgh from Tampa Bay. Is Nathaniel's brother still there?
Josh is still with the Rays.
He's still with the Rays. So they don't have a Lau and a Low anymore. They had a Lau and 2 Lows for a while.
Yeah, that's way too confusing.
It's a lot of Lows and Lows. But anyway, Burrows.
I blame the Lows.
Yeah,
on that one.
Burrows stout. He's a good get by the Astros, who again are they're budget conscious. I mean, it's not like they're kind of like the Rangers in that regard. Their owner will spend money.
Yeah.
He's not into the big long-term contracts, but they didn't get where they're getting by not spending anything,
Yeah, well, a lot of it was re-signing their real
own
good
guys.
players, which they've failed to do with Correa and Bregman. They famously didn't re-sign, but I think they had extended him already. It seemed they have re-upped with Altuve, and Alvarez has a nice long contract for him, but yeah, you haven't seen them out. I mean, they traded Michael Tucker, or not Michael Tucker.
Yeah, Kyle.
I'd trade Michael Tucker right now too.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah,
and that's the other thing we'll have to dive into some next week. The market on Tucker, which I think also has an effect on the market for Bellinger.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
I think those are a little bit like the Schwarber-Alonso market. Like once Schwarber signed, Alonso signed, right? I think, like everybody, again, we've always said it, go ahead and set the market, but everybody's waiting for the market to be set.
Yeah. And Uncle Ted says Mitch Keller should be a Ranger. Interesting because there's another trade, again with the Rays, trading Shane Baz to the Orioles. Yeah. Orioles gave up a ton.
Yeah.
They gave up like 5 prospects, and 2 of them are former first-round picks. Man, that's a big one. That's a very high price.
And
so
again, the Rays are always trying to build that farm system up.
Right.
with depth, right?
Yes. Because they have to.
Yeah, and, because they got to have cheap players.
Small market.
Yeah.
The Rangers don't have to do that.
No.
But, boy, they sure are.
Yeah, right now they're living in that world. All right, fun Friday. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us and
chug this before we leave.
We gotta. I finished mine. You talked more than me today, so that's good. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. We are back Monday and Tuesday of next week, and then Friday. But like you, we'll be convalescing, if you will, over the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day holiday. We'll look forward to seeing you 3 times next week, though, each day at 1 o'clock, right here on the DLLS Rangers podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.